What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we need to talk to you about hologram. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's causing a lot of volatility, and then finally cap it all off with the current short interest percentage with the new outstanding share count. So I'm going to go over all that, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, hologram is down 16.56%. Crazy day, very close to a new 52-week and all-time low. So the low so far is around 77 cents. 22.2 million shares have been traded, 19 is the average. So looking over here, there has been no transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So that does insinuate the majority of the volume is linked to either algorithmic trading as well as shorting today. On a daily basis for hologram, roughly 50% plus is attributed to shorts, so it's still too early to calculate today's data, but for instance on Wednesday, which was the last trading day, 59.1% of the overall volume was attributed to shorts, and 56.1% of the volume was redirected off of the exchange. So kind of that combination right there is a very clear indication that there is some sort of manipulation happening behind the scenes. But I think we already generally know that. As of today, there's been no news, no SEC filings to really match or justify today's downtrend. Even looking through IBKR, no other random articles, nobody is talking about hologram right now. So in reality, the only thing that can be said on why it is going down is possibly linked to this recent prospectus. So again, there might be some correlation with that, the conversions happening or occurring right now. So we'll just have to wait and see. This is one of those things that we won't know until they do submit their earnings, and then we kind of find out. But with us now in Q3, it'll be a good, very long time, probably October, until we do find out whether there was dilution occurring right now. And speaking of dilution, let's talk about that for a second. So over the last couple of videos, I have been bringing up this. So it does show right here, 173.62% of the free float is being shorted, and that works out to be 6.82 million shares. If we pop over here, so it does show 5.94 million for the outstanding share count. And every time I've brought this up over the last couple of videos, I have people in the comments saying, well, Marketplace is saying 81, and then Yahoo is saying this 5.9, and as you can kind of see, Ortex is gathering this. I believe it gets it from IBKR. So everyone is kind of showing different outstanding share counts, and somehow some random ones are showing 9. I don't know how they're getting 9, but if we look at this recent prospectus right over here that was submitted on June the 20th, if we pull this up, it does show as of December 31st, 2023, there was 5.9 million shares outstanding. And so in essence, I think this is where a lot of just platforms are gathering incorrect information from. So ultimately, this was from that prospectus. But if we scroll down a little bit more, so kind of moving over here, it does show as of May 24th, 2024, there was 81.1 million outstanding shares. So in essence, it is not going back over here, the 170+%. If you kind of calculate it, it's between that probably 6 to 8% range. Again, I think that number is a full outstanding share count, not the free float. So you have to kind of give some room for that. So in essence, probably closer to the 8% range, which is very, very crazy if you ask me. So yeah, I think in reality, a lot of people are maybe coming to the realization of that. I think there's been holograms been floating around on a lot of articles as the next big squeeze stock. And it's been that way for the last week and a bit, because I think a lot of people were taking this information. A lot of even platforms were showing in excess of 100% because of that randomness right here, this one little sentence where it does indicate 81 million shares. So a lot of platforms clearly overlooked this. And even when I looked at this, because I did double check that, right? Because you always want to double check to see if a company has done a recent reverse stock split, which in hologram's case, the last one was in February. Because if a company does a reverse stock split within the last 2 weeks, it skews Ortex. So at the same time, you have to look for kind of the current share count to see if there's been any updates since then. And every time I pulled this up, I always referred back to this right up here. So I always looked here and kept seeing well, this is what Ortex shows. And yeah, so in essence, it is 8%. So I think some people are coming to the realization of that. At the same time, shorts are very active today because they do want to bring hologram down. I believe today is the 13th consecutive trading day below $1. And as I mentioned in previous videos, if a company is trading below $1 for 30 consecutive trading days, then it's on the chopping block. So potential delisting. But what happens is you get a delisting notice, you'd get 6 months to rectify the deficiency, and then 9 times out of 10, the company would just do a reverse stock split, similar to what happened in February, to rectify that deficiency. So hologram most likely is going to continue down this same path, especially with that very, very damaging 28 million in notes, as I kind of mentioned. That especially the conversion, like the lower the stock price, the more shares are issued, it's going to be extremely damaging to the bottom line, and I guess just to the outstanding share count. So I think right now hologram just isn't in a good place. They really do need to put out some news. I've seen on Reddit a lot of people doing additional due diligence on like patents and whatever else, and like, yeah, retail investors should not be doing that. Company should be doing that, because as of right now, the last news that came out was on February the 7th, which, even though it wasn't substantial news, that is what caused a spike up. So it goes to show how like news hungry the market is for hologram. So I don't know, it's one of those catch-22s that it's like a very good squeeze play in some cases, but without any catalyst, there's no real reason for shorts to return some shares. So I think today is just more of a realization of a day. As of right now, though, 114,000 shares are being returned. And so obviously that 173 isn't correct. So it's probably around the 8% range. This 6.82 million is clearly correct. And so nothing has really changed for that, because it doesn't matter based on the share count of that amount. Cost to borrow, again, shouldn't really change based on what the new outstanding share count is. So 19.02% is that cost to borrow, a little bit higher than Wednesday. And then the actual shares on loan is still accurate, so 17.66 million. So like I said, I think today is just more of a realization. Hopefully the company does put out some good substantial pieces of news incentivizing buying coming from institutions, because for a momentum play, you need capital to be coming in. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. If you're looking at trading hologram though, with it currently at 80 cents, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So very wide gap. So anticipate a lot of volatility in the foreseeable future, but 72 cents is going to be that next strong support. And then on the flip side, $1.19 as well. I think just generally speaking, kind of watch that $1 mark, because if it is trading for 30 consecutive days below that $1 mark, like I said, then this is where they're kind of in a more of a realm of reverse stock splits potentially again. So don't mean to spread FUD, just giving you guys an overview of what could be coming down the pipeline. So no matter what, the company just needs to put out something of substance, like a piece of news or whatever else, and not necessarily just dilution, because that's kind of what they've put out over this last little bit, regrettably. So let me know your thoughts on this company. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? And what is your thoughts, for instance? Do you think that this is now still a squeeze play with it being at 8%? Or do you think that, for instance, I'm wrong and this is truly at 173 or possibly lower, higher? What's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And one final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.